All right, hello and welcome to another session of Fit Essentials Basics. We're going to use the long broomstick. If you have a broomstick, PVC, a little bit later in the session, or if you don't have a broomstick, if you have a scarf, one of the long TheraBands, all that will work. Otherwise, we're going to start with our spinal cord breathing. So go ahead and come on up to your feet if you're not already. Walk your feet in so the toes are pointing straight ahead. Think about standing up nice and tall through the hips. On the inhale, you're going to circle your arms around, bringing your forearms together, palms together, and now we're going to tuck in, gently exhaling. From here, we're going to warm up that spine by breathing in, lifting the chest, divide those arms, engage your glutes, so squeeze your tush as you gently look up towards the ceiling. Pause the top of your breath and then exhale, curl it back down and in, pulling the chin into the chest, pulling that belly button in towards your spine, hips roll under. And that's your motion here. Breathing in, opening up, pulling those shoulders back and down. See if you can spread the fingers nice and wide as well. And then exhale, curl the hands in, tuck the arms down, pull the chin in. Good job. Maybe like 2 more cycles. Breathe in and open. Squeeze the tush as you lift the chest, looking up. And gently exhale, tuck it down. See if you can blow out just a little bit longer than you normally would. Just avoid trying to get dizzy. You don't want to get dizzy. And last time, breathing in, lift and open, and gentle exhale. After this last exhale, we'll go ahead and come up to standing, relaxing the arms down to the side. But first, all the air out as much as you're comfortable. And breathe in, stand tall, lower those arms down. Very good. Let's go ahead and walk your feet just a little bit wider. And we're going to raise those arms up to the outside. Turn one palm up towards the ceiling. Turn one palm down towards the floor. Make sure you have just a little bend in those knees. And now we're just going to shift our torso side to side and try to rotate, I get my words there, through those shoulders. Very good. Back and forth. Good, nice smooth breathing. And relax them down. Good job. Walk the feet in just a little bit. And from here, now we're going to start to circle around through the elbows. So we're going to bring the hands up, making a gentle fist. And you're trying to circle the elbows around. I know the brain's like, wait, what are we doing? Not something that we do very often. But the elbows need to rotate too. And now turn them the other way. So in and out. Rotate them in and out. I'm getting a couple clicks and pops there myself. Waking those joints up. Very good. Maybe one more in and out and relax them down. And now let's bring some love into the wrist. Hands up and forward. Spread the fingers as you round through the wrists, circling those wrists around. Very good. About 5 rotations or so one way. And now change direction, still spreading those fingers nice and wide. There you go. Again, feeling some clicks and pops through there. Me as well. And shake it down. All right, beautiful. We're going to go into some work for the glutes next. We're going to do either some balance work, or please feel free to stand near a wall, steady yourself near a chair, whatever is best for you. So I want you to set yourself so the toes are pointing straight ahead. We're going to start on your left leg. So think about standing up nice and tall. Grip the toes of your right foot down, either into your shoe or into the floor if you're on one foot. And now we're going to lift up the left foot. You're going to point the toe straight ahead of you. And now you're going to lift your toes up, lift the foot and glide it back. Squeezing the glute as you glide it back. Good. Toe points forward, lift the foot and glide straight back. Make sure you're not arching, so pull the belly button in. Point it forward, lift the foot and extending at the hip. Good. About 15 more seconds here. Point, lift, straight back. And I'll just put my hand right there. You can try to squeeze as you extend back. Try to feel that muscle fire. Squeeze into your hand. One more. Point the toe. Lift the foot and extending back at the hip. Squeeze and rest. Good job. Set that foot down. Walk those feet out. Hands on the hips. And let's circle those hips around in between legs. Good job. Wake it all up. Over and through, 3 to 5 one way, and now reverse, 3 to 5 the other direction. Fantastic. All right, now we're gonna go same thing, other side. So you're gonna be grounded through your left foot, set that left foot looking at your toes, make sure they're pointing straight ahead. Standing up nice and tall, pull the shoulders back. And now here we go. We're gonna point that right foot forward, lift the foot and toes, extending back. You can take that hand right on the tush, point it forward, lift and extend. One of the benefits of being in the privacy of your own home, you're like, she's asking me to grab my tush here. Yep, helps there. If you have something to squeeze against, you can wake up a little bit more of those muscle fibers. Point it forward, lift the foot, stand as tall as you can as you extend it back. Good job. Couple more. As you glide back, you want to not rotate that foot away. So make sure it's still pointing straight ahead. Lift, extend. Good job. Last one. Point it forward, lift, and straight back. Fantastic. Set that down. All right, make sure you have a little bit of space there that you're not gonna hit your arms on anything. And we're just gonna go into like a gentle arm swing side to side, kind of shifting the weight from one foot to the other. Very good. And now if you're comfortable with this, start to rotate, turn your head. So you're looking towards that outstretched arm. Turn and look, reach and switch. Very good. Couple more each side. And go ahead and relax it down. All right, fantastic. If your water bottle's nearby or a glass of water, let's take a little drink. And then we're gonna do that one more time through. Now on this second time through, if you feel best to stand tall, you can stay just like that. If you'd like to progress the movement, include a little bit more upper body work, we'll come into that bent over position where you'll lean forward, walk it back, place the hands down, and it will be the knee in and extending the leg straight back like that. So either stay standing or find a support for the upper body. All right. If you are going to go into that support, place the hands down, pull the belly button in, and 2, 1, when you're ready. Your left leg, pull it in or point it forward and extending back. Good. If you're standing tall, you can still have that hand on your left glute, on your left side of your bum. Otherwise, bowing forward here, we're focusing on the same thing. Toe pointing straight ahead, squeezing the glute, looking to not arch the back. And toe points down towards the floor as I reach straight back. Glide it in, glide it back. Good, about 10 more seconds here. Breathe in as you point it forward or pull that knee in. Exhale as you extend. Maybe one more. Glide it in and extend it back. Fantastic. Walk it in. Come on up. Standing nice and tall. Let's loosen up those hips. Hip rock this time, side to side. Rocking that hip. Great time to smile. Good. This is a bring your own music onto class, so you're always welcome to play your own music in the background or just, imagine some tunes in your head. All right, great job. Shake that out. We're going to balance out the body. Same thing, opposite side. So remember, again, you can stand tall. Just point the foot, glide it back, or we're going to support through the upper body. Those of you supporting through the upper body, wide handprint. Walk the feet back. You're going to be moving on your right leg this time. So supporting through the left, knee up and forward, and extend back. Good job. Pull that knee towards the elbow or just simply point the toes straight ahead. Good. As you extend the leg back, the tendency is to kind of lose the engagement of that core. The back tends to arch, so keep that belly button pulled in, keeping your low back nice and level. Good. Breathe in as you point the foot forward or pull it forward. Exhale as you extend. Toe pointing down or straight ahead. In and out. Good job. Keep lifting up out of that support hip. Beautiful. Couple more. In and back. 2, 1, and rest. Good job. Walk it in. Stand it up. Whew. Kind of get your balance here, looking straight ahead. And we're going to get a little bit more rotational work. So we're going to do our trees of life here. You can either keep your head looking straight on, or if you're comfortable to let the head and neck rotate as well, you can let the head and neck rotate. So we'll start first, arms away from the body. And then when you're ready, Allow those arms to bend. Gently tap one hand in front of the torso, one hand behind the torso. Good. Nice and gentle. And gently bring it back to a stop. I have a hard time remembering that sometimes. Sudden stops, kind of a little bit different, just to glide to a gradual stop. Very good. All right, reset the feet, kind of walking them in. We're gonna bring the arms up in front of the body, little bend in the knee, and now we're just gonna gently reach up. You can imagine we're kind of like trying to reach up, pick some apples, and bringing them back. We'll just pretend our basket is right here up at the chest. So just a gentle side stretch as you reach. Very good. See if you can exhale as you reach, inhale as you pull it down. Good. Couple more each side. And go ahead and relax. Very good. Let's take another drink, and then next we're going to move into the behind the back stretch. So keep yourself hydrated here. All right. If you have trouble reaching your hands behind your back, this is where you can use a towel or a scarf, a TheraBand, kind of grab onto something else. Otherwise, if you can, interlace those fingers. Interlace the fingers, look to extend your elbows, pull the shoulders back, and just watch that midline posture. So think ribs down in the front. From here, walk the feet out. You can either stay tall, lifting your arms up. If you're confident to come into a forward fold, you'll root down into your legs. From here, sending the hips back, pull your chin in as you're reaching up. Midline nice and strong, legs really solid here. And now your air, you're trying to send your breath. I like to feel it like tension right between my shoulder blades where my body is tight. So I try to breathe into my back. After that last one, go ahead and come on up and release those arms. Woo. All right. Let's go ahead and take a break off our legs for a second. Grab your water and take a seat. We're going to stretch the hips just a bit before we move into the next spot. Hips and upper body. All right. Sitting nice and tall, place your right foot down nice and solid, shoulders back. See if you can interlace those hands in front of the shin on your left. And we're gonna lift that ankle up and around. Point the toes, lift the toes, circle it through. Good job. And taking it the other way. You tend to have any stiffness in your ankles, you can play the alphabet game where you kind of trace the letters of the alphabet once or twice a day. Place that down. Same thing other side. We kind of keep it pretty brief here with just about 5 circles each direction. But remember the alphabet game if you want to really improve that mobility at the ankle. Just imagine you could print the letters and then you could cursive the letters. Kids these days don't even barely know what cursive is. But they can tell us a lot about the computers. All right, set that foot down. We're going to go back to your first leg, this time moving into that glute stretch best as able. So grab in front of the shin. See if you can hook that foot up and over the opposite side. And now still staying tall through your torso. Hug that leg in. So I'm trying to pull your left knee across to the right side of the body. Just looking to kind of target that outer hip area. And you can either hold it stationary here, or you can kind of weave it up and down. Works that upper body, moving that leg up and down. I'm looking for any stiffness through the hip, inviting it to glide. Very good. Staying on this side, if you're comfortable to do so. See if you can set that foot down just above the knee, and now invite that knee of your left leg to drop down, taking it into figure 4. So you can sit tall here. If you'd like to gently place that hand on the knee, pull that chin in, and let's close the eyes for 3 breaths here. So you can breathe in nice and deep through the nose, out either through the nose or gently through the mouth, twice more. Very good. After that last exhale, go ahead and make your way out of this stretch, placing that foot down, and we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So sit tall first, We did that glute stretch. Interlace the hand in front, looking to cross that foot over, and then reset the hands. Check in with that upper body posture. Hugging the leg in. Saying hello to different parts of the glute here, and either holding it in this single position, or if you're okay to kind of work that upper body a little bit, you can hug the leg in, glide it up, glide it down. Just trying to move that hip into different directions than you normally would. Very good. From here, we'll kind of shift it into figure 4, looking to have that ankle just above the knee of your left leg, and inviting that right knee to drop down to the outside. Sit tall, shoulders back. Gentle overpressure with the right hand on the right knee as you choose. Pull that chin in. Let's go 2 more breaths here. Very good. Gently come out of that. Place that leg down. You can either stay seated or come to standing if you'd like. I'm going to stay seated here, and we're going to stretch out the upper body next, just a little bit more. So pull that chin in, reach your left arm straight up in the air. Look to bend that elbow, and then staying as tall as you can. Reach around, grab, and pulling it back. Very good. Holding straight up and down for a couple of breaths, and then if you feel nice and solid through the legs, you can look to take it into a gentle side bend. So I'll breathe in, come to center on the exhale, just very gently taking it across to the side. Good. A couple more. Nice. And when you're ready, go ahead and relax those arms down. Before we jump into that other side, we're going to give some rotational work to the neck. So pull that chin in. You're going to turn your head, looking over one shoulder. Turn the eyes as far as you can in that direction. And then back to center, turning the head, looking the other way. Pull the chin in, staying tall as you look. Turn the eyes, looking as far as you can over that shoulder. Very good. Back to center. This time, if you'd like, a little overpressure. 2 fingers up on the cheekbone. So turn the head, and then ever so gently, you can encourage just a little bit more rotation, turning the eyes as far as you can as you give a little overpressure. Should not be painful. And release when you're ready. Same thing, other side. Chin in, sitting tall, turning the head. And then as you choose, 2 fingers, not on the jaw, but up on the cheekbones. Looking across. I guess it would be cheekbone, 1 bone on the side of the head. Turning the eyes. I actually feel this in my low back on your left side. So it's kind of funny. You'll feel those twists wherever you have that most tension. And back to center and release. All right, let's balance out the upper body. Should be your right hand, reaching it straight up in the air. Pull that chin in, bend the elbow as you reach up and around. Very good. Staying tall here, holding for a couple of breaths. Very good. And then when you're ready, if you feel solid through that lower body, taking it to the side, anywhere between 2, 3, upwards of 5. Breathe in as you lengthen, back to center. Exhale as you take it into that side bend. Good job. Very good. Last one. And release. Fantastic. All right, just kind of shake it out. Feel anything else that you might want? Let's grab a drink of water before we come back to our feet. All right, we're going to be doing a bent over row. So if you have some weight for the next one, intermixing the bent over row with some balance work. Just 2 rounds today. We're going a little bit longer intervals, 30 to 45 seconds of each exercise. I'm going to show a single leg balance. If you have anything going on with your hips that you don't feel stable on one leg, please choose to do what we call our tandem stance instead of that single leg, where you'll stand as if you're on a tightrope. Okay. Otherwise, let's start by walking your feet in. Both toes are pointing straight ahead. Shoulders back and down, and you're going to balance on your left leg first. So I'm going to be on my right. So we'll mirror each other. So lifting up, shoulders back and down. And when you're ready, you can lift that right leg off the ground or just bias your weight onto your left. Now, really key here, shoulders squeezing back. That's going to help keep your shoulders stacked over your hips, head stacked over your shoulders. Anytime you need, set the foot down and then come back in. Gripping the toes, lifting up, holding solid. Good job. Very nice. So that's 30 seconds. Feel free if you need to rest there or continue to hold and come back in when you're ready. Gripping and lifting. Very nice. And that full 45 is done in 2, 1, and shake it out. All right, fantastic. We're going to go from that balance work to our bent over row. So it's going to be in your left arm. You're going to set your feet nice and stable, pull the belly button in, bowing forward. You're going to support through your right hand, using the weight if you have it. Whenever you're ready, you're going to reach forward and long spine, elbow nice and high. Reaching down and row up and in. Good job. Reach and up and pause. Once you know the movement, turn that head so you're looking straight down towards the floor or on your support hand. Breathe in to reach. Exhale as you row. And like I mentioned, we're going between 30 and 45 seconds here. So I'll tell you at 30, you can rest there, especially if you haven't done a whole lot of this with us recently. That's our 30. Or if you feel like you've had some good work, you're ready for these longer intervals, then keep moving. We've got another 10 seconds to make it to that full 45. Reaching forward, rowing up and in, reach, row, and 2, 1, everybody rest. Good job. Set that weight down. Coming back to center, and now we're going to do the same thing on the opposite side of the body. So you'll be balancing on your right leg this time. Check in, toes are pointing straight ahead, shoulders back and down, and 2, 1, when you're ready. Up and hold. There you go. I think I did this leg. My bad. I had to think about it for a second. I did the left arm the same as you, but the legs are the opposite. All right, that's 20 seconds. Remember, if you need to set that foot down and rest, making sure those shoulders aren't coming up into those ears. So keep pulling the shoulder blades down the spine. That's 30 seconds. Watch that we don't let that hip kick out. So keep lifting up. Remember, we got those puppet strings pulling us straight up towards the sky. Woo, good work. And 2, 1, and everybody rest. All right, shake it out. We're going to make our way to that bent over row. Weight will be in our right side of the body. Set the feet about hip width apart. Pull that belly button in as you bow forward, supporting through your left. 2, 1, when you're ready. Elbow nice and high. Keep that shoulder down out of your ear. And great practice here to pause in the top. So I pull that elbow high, trying to hold that weight right up against the front of the rib cage. Reaching forward, up and in. Very good. Yep. Reach and row. Breathing in, pulling high. Fantastic. This is the end of our first round. We're doing 2 rounds on this piece today. We're over 30 seconds in, so feel free to take a break there or continue on for that full 45. Breathe in as you reach, exhale as you row. 2, 1, and everybody rest. Woo! All right, grab your water. That's set 1. We're going to do it one more time through. Now that I know which leg I'm balancing on. All right, great job. It's going to be your left leg for the balance. That means I'll be standing on my right so we can mirror each other here. Check in so those toes are pointing straight ahead. Remember, tandem stance, you'll just have your left foot forward if you need. Otherwise, 3, 2, 1, lifting up, holding level. If anyone here has like that yoga experience, if you want to do more of like a tree pose, you can take that right foot and place it against the right leg. Okay, that works for a single leg balance as well. Very nice. Watching that hip. If you're starting to feel fatigue, recommend coming down. You can always come back in. We're just over 30 seconds. Good job. Eyes up. Watch the posture. We'll start to fall forward. So pull it back and in 2, 1. Everybody rest. Feel free to gently rock those hips for a second as you make your way onto that bent over row. Weight will be in your left hand. Set the feet about hip width apart. Pull the belly button in as you bow forward, making sure you have a little bend in the knees. And 2, 1, here we go. And just whatever feels best for you. If you feel pretty comfortable with this movement, if you want to move a little bit faster, reaching forward, pulling up and in, making sure you have control, that full range. Or if you're feeling a little bit stiff today, then move slow. Reach down, reach up. I like to imagine someone's got a string attached to the outside of my elbow and it's pulling that elbow up as high as I can pull it. Very nice. Reaching down, up and in. That's 30 seconds, everyone. Forward and up. I want to try to get that shoulder blade to move along the rib cage. Reach and row. 2, 1, and rest. Woo! All right. Second half of set 2. Coming back to the balance. So if you're doing the tandem stance, you're going to place your right foot forward this time. Single leg balance on your right leg. 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, either holding the foot out or practicing the tree pose with the foot against the leg. Very nice. Lifting up. Watching that hip drop, so keep pulling them level. If they start to get fatigued, set it down and then come back in. Got nothing to prove here today, just practicing balance, stretching, all the things. We're over 30 seconds in, less than 10 for those of you going for the full 45. You can reset when you need. Whoop, 3, 2, 1, and there's our rest. All right, fantastic. Let's just balance out the upper body with that single arm row on the right. Good job. Set the feet about hip width apart. Pull the belly button in as you bow forward, bending at the knees as well. Grab the weight in your right hand and 2, 1, here we go. Exhale as you row, elbow high. Nice. Great range of motion there. Reaching forward, up and in, pause, and then reaching back down. Wonderful. We love the bent over row here. Working that back strength, helping those shoulders to sit in a better position. Overall support for our posture. Hopefully help reduce kind of neck pain and shoulder pain. That's 30 seconds. Sometimes our body just hurts from holding poor posture for long periods of time. The muscles aren't where they need to be. So we can use exercise to help strengthen them and get the body back in a better position. There's our 45. Everybody rest. Woo. All right, fantastic. Let's take a seat for a second, grab a drink. Got one more circuit left. And before we jump into that last circuit, we're going to give just a little bit more attention to the head and neck area. So I'm going to come a little bit closer. All right, so we did some rotation. Now we're just going to go a little bit up and down. So sit nice and tall. You're going to look down towards the chest, pulling the chin in. Couple of breaths there, feeling a stretch along the back of the neck, and then you'll look straight ahead and then gently looking up just as far as you're comfortable, allowing the head to tilt back, peering up with the eyes. Very good. Back to center. We'll go twice more. If you want to do a little overpressure, lightly bring the fingertips as I look down. Imagine if I were going to set a nickel or a quarter on top of your head, how gentle that weight would be. Very good. After 2 to 3 breaths there, you can release those hands. If you're comfortable to cross the hands in front of your chest, you want to kind of go right underneath the collarbones. Then you'll just pull the skin down a little bit, pull the chin in, and then from there, gently looking up. Just stretching those muscles in the front of the neck. Good. Pull the chin in. We're gonna look up again. This time, we're still gonna pull down, but now I'm gonna look up and I'm gonna turn my head, kind of looking over to my right side as far as I can, bringing the chin towards the right side, turning the eyes, feeling a stretch in the front of the neck on the right side, ideally. Good, back to neutral, pulling it back in. Okay, rest that skin for a second, and one more time. Pull down, chin in. Now we're gonna tilt the head, looking over to the, let's see, your left side. Lifting that chin up ever so slightly. Turn the eyes. How far can you look to the left? Ideally, want to feel this along the left side, front of the neck, side of the neck a little bit. And gently bring it in and release it all down. All right, nice work. We just have one more circuit left. This is where if you have those PVCs or the long band, the broomstick, we're gonna bring that out, just have it convenient. We're gonna be going through 3 rounds of this. First round is gonna be a little bit of a warm up as we kind of move through these new movements. Not new to those of you who've been coming, but just new to the hour. All right. So first thing first, warming up our squats. So please feel free to use some support here for your squats. I like to stand right behind the chair, walk the feet about hip width apart, turn your toes out just slightly. So imagine if I had the clock dial on the floor, one toe is pointing at 1 o'clock, one toe is pointing at 11 o'clock. From here, I can use that upper body, hanging on, sending my hips back as I push my knees nice and wide. Trying to make room for my hips. Only come down as far as you keep your whole foot planted, and then drive your feet into the floor as you push your chest tall, coming up to the top. Very good. If you feel comfortable to sit back without holding on, reach your arms out. So reaching out, chest stays tall, knees push wide. Good, push your heels down and stand. And sometimes these give a little bit of discomfort. You got to be the guy, the judge of, is it going to feel better as I move? My husband likes to say you got to break the calcium off the joints, keeping them moving and pushing through those feet, standing tall. He's got 15 years on me, so he gets a little bit more credibility of moving through those full ranges. But many times we experience that once you kind of wake up the body through those motions, you gain that mobility and things start to function better. So be patient with it. All right. So for the squats, you can either stay there or you can squat to a chair and standing tall. Okay, if you are comfortable, if you have a bench so you can go a little bit lower than the chair, that's fantastic as well. So go ahead and just kind of keep moving with me. We're going to take about another 20 seconds here. So either lowering to the chair or without the assist, reaching back, pushing through your feet and standing. Very good. About 10 more seconds. If you're coming down to the chair, see how much control you can have as you lower down. Try not to plop down. And then push through your feet and stand. Good job. Shake it out. Set that chair to the side. Make sure you have a little bit of space. We're going to work our brain as much as our body next, our cross crawl pattern. So you're going to go hand to the opposite leg, either keeping both feet on the ground, or if you feel good for a little bit more balance work today, outstretched arm, outstretched leg, left hand to the right leg, right hand to the left leg. Good job. Good. One side to the other. And all the things that we focused on when we did that single leg hold earlier, lifting up out of the hips as you bring the weight across or bring the leg across. Nice work. Steady that breathing. You want it to ideally sound the same for every rep. Nice and consistent. Good. Maybe one more each side. And rest. All right. Here, next, we're going to come back to that support on the upper body. So you're going to walk the feet back. You're going to place the hands down. And then your choice here, you can either just hold that, we call it a front plank. You're holding on the front side of the body. Or if you feel confident here and want to go into that alternating row, we call it a plank row, where you push through one hand, pull that elbow nice and high. Breathe. We're not letting those hips drop down, so keeping your hips up. I'd rather have you piked than arched here, but ideally want to keep the hips as level as you can with the shoulders. Good. We're going to go about another 20 seconds. Keep breathing, holding solid. Nice strong support through the hand. Good. Shoulder blade pulls back, elbow pulls high, and 3, 2, 1, and rest. Very good. This is where those of you that did some walking this morning, if you want to take a break, you can sit down and you can march and punch from a seated position, still getting that challenge of the brain. Otherwise, if you want some more work on your feet today, when you're ready, march and punch from the standing position. Good. Try to stay as level as possible. You know, you don't have to try to prove anything with how far you lift your legs. Just lift them as confident as you are. Here goes my balance. Looking to keep those hands up. So think hands up by the shoulders. Exhale as you punch. And rest. All right, good work. Rest breaks coming, but let's grab that broomstick or PVC. Next, we're going to move into our little shoulder openers here. Walk those feet so the toes are pointing straight ahead. Kind of take a nice wide grip with your band or your stick. Raise it up to overhead and lowering it down. Good job. One more time, up to overhead. This time as able, bringing it down behind the neck. Elbows pulled back. It's opening the chest here. Good. And then if you're comfortable, if you can stay tall and push it back up. Very good. Again, bringing it back down. From here, you're going to bend into your knees and we're going to do a couple good mornings. You're going to bow forward, looking down towards the floor, long spine, push through your feet, squeeze your glutes as you stand. Good. 2 more. Little bend in those knees, long spine, send those hips back. Fantastic. Push through your feet, standing tall. Last one. Belly button pulled in, long spine as you bow forward and standing straight up. Very good. If you're okay with those arms, they're either here or overhead and some gentle rotations. Little bend in the knees, just ever so gentle. Do a lot of rotation in classes because guess what? You probably don't do it a whole lot. And sometimes we don't even notice that we've lost the ability to rotate until you get into the car. You need to look into your blind spot. So you want to maintain that ability, rotate. Good. And when you're ready, bring those arms down, set that stick aside. Let's take a drink. And we're going to do that one more time through. Starting back with those squats. Fantastic. All right, you can either stay unweighted, you'll reach the arms straight out. If you want to give a little bit of a challenge and hold a little bit of weight, we're going to hold it up either underneath your chin or at your shoulders. So set those feet about hip width apart. Remember, find the dials of the clock to slightly turn out the toes. Okay, if you're not holding weights, reach the arms out. And you can squat to the chair with weight as well. 3, 2, 1, when you're ready. Good control, sitting the hips back, pushing your knees out. Then drive your legs into the floor to create that upward force. Very nice. Eyes up, fighting to keep that chest as tall as you can. Push into the feet to stand. Fantastic. We're going to go upwards of 45 seconds here. I'll tell you when we're at 30. If you're like 45 is a little bit too much, rest early. Sinking back, sinking back, sinking back. Drive down. Good. Few more times if you're up for it. That's our 30-second mark. Good job. Push that big toe down as you keep that heel planted. Check in with the knees, pushing them out. Sometimes when you stand is when they like to drive in, even coming up off the chair. Finish that rep and rest. All right. Cross crawl is next. This is where those of you that have done a lot of work, or if you're just feeling overly fatigued today, sit down in the chair and bring your elbow towards the opposite knee. Okay? So either sitting, knee to the opposite elbow, or you can do what we did the first round from standing, straight arms. If you're ready for that challenge from standing, you can bend the legs, knee to the opposite elbow. Very good. Or the straight legs. Essentially here, we're just practicing that cross crawl pattern. So standing or seated, crossing the midline of the body with the opposite arm, opposite leg. When babies, they crawl before they walk, and it's important for the brain development to crawl before you walk. That I can't say much more about it, but otherwise it helps keep the right side of the brain talking to the left side of the brain. And the same thing, we want to maintain that connection of our brains one side to the other as we age. So you're never too young to keep practicing across the body. And 2, 1, everybody rest there. Woo. All right, if you took the seated option, come on back to your feet. We're gonna do one more round of that plank. So we're holding that front plank, option of alternating the row of the elbows. All righty, when you're ready, place those hands down, walking the feet back, and holding nice and strong here. Turning your gaze straight down. If you want to go onto that single arm support, make sure your feet are about hip width apart, so a little bit wider base support. And then when you're ready, elbow up and in, reaching down. Very similar to what we did for that single arm row, but now we're alternating arms. Holding solid through that plank. Keeping that breathing going. Very nice. Watching that we don't let those hips drop down, so keep the hips lifted. Maybe one more on each arm. Strong support, elbow high. Strong support, elbow up, and walk it in. All right, fantastic. Final time, march and punch. Great time if you want to give your legs a break, sit down and follow along. 3, 2, 1, here we go. So reaching across the body with the upper body, keeping the legs level. Good. Try to keep those arms up right about the height of the shoulders and keep the eyes up as well. Head nice and tall. Good. I'm looking to coordinate that exhale. And even if you're seated, as you raise your knee up, try to lift the foot and toes. Coordinate that together. Let's get about one more each side. Punch, punch, and rest. Woo, woo. All right. Final little bit, everybody. Shoulder openers. We do a couple good mornings, going back to that PVC or your long band. And we're going to call it a session after we finish with some stretches. All right, so with your PVC or your long band, we're going to start, we call them just shoulder openers here, reaching out in front, bringing it up to overhead. And this time, when we get up to overhead, we're going to do a little rotations. And you can do a couple side bends, making sure you stay level through the legs. Very good. If you can maintain a pretty good posture when you bring it down behind the head, bring it down behind the head, opening the chest, keeping the ribs tucked down, reaching up, bringing it down. It's a really good opener for the chest and shoulders. Very nice. On that next one, if you're comfortable to do so, keep it on the back. Check in with your feet. So I want to walk my feet in, toes are pointing straight ahead, and just a little bit more forward folding here. Not folding so much as forward bow. So a little bend in those knees, long spine as I send those hips back. Maybe say hello to those hamstrings, back side of the thighs, and then push through your feet, squeeze the glutes, standing straight up. Let's go 2 more there. Belly button pulled in, long spine, hips go back, looking down, squeeze and stand. And final one, sending those hips back, down, 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 and up. Good job. When you finish that last one, reach it up to overhead, bringing it down, and let's take a seat. Woo, good work. All right. Coming down to the chair. We're going to get a little bit of spinal rotations in here. So sitting tall, left hand to the right thigh. If you want to go deeper in that twist, you can cross that leg over the opposite leg. Otherwise, I want you to really focus on sitting tall. If you have like a handle of your chair and want to push against the handle, you can, or bring your right hand up to that right shoulder. as we twist around, you're gonna look over that right shoulder, and now we're gonna make some smooth circular patterns with the elbow. So rotating that elbow around, trying to feel that shoulder blade kind of moving up and along the rib cage. Keep that breathing going. Continue to look, 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 look. The spine will follow the eyes. Got one more breath. And gradual release. Good job. Before we flip to that other side, let's walk the feet nice and wide. We're going to take it into a forward fold here from the seated position. So come to the edge of the chair. Make sure both feet are firmly planted. Hands on the thighs. You're going to pull the belly button in as you just gently round down, pulling the chin into the chest. Use your upper body to control how far down you feel comfortable to fold here. And then feel the stretch. For me, I feel like kind of in my low back, a little bit more towards the center. So you can kind of breathe into that area. Deep breath in, nice smooth exhale. One more time. Good. When you're ready, gradually making your way up, walking the hands up the legs. Woo. Coming back up to center. Good job. Get your kind of bearings there as you sit tall, and now let's balance your body out. So now you'll take your right hand over to the left thigh, option to cross the legs if you'd like, left hand to the left shoulder. And again, if you have that armrest, if you want to just kind of push the hand to the armrest, otherwise we're turning the head, following the gaze. How far can you look to the left? Circling that elbow up and around, up and back about 10 times or so. Don't worry about counting, just focus on the breathing. Focus on the eyes. Continuing to sit nice and tall through the spine. And 2, 1, release when you're ready. All right, fantastic. We're gonna just go one more piece of some rotational movements, focusing more through that mid back. So our seated thoracic rotations. Let's take your left hand behind the head. And now we're gonna sit tall as we tuck down, bringing that elbow towards the opposite thigh. And then as you sit up, you can use your right hand, place it on the inside of your right knee, and then you're gonna turn looking over your left as far as you can. We're gonna go between 3 and 5 here. Tuck it down, sit tall, and rotate. Breathe in as you close, and a nice gentle exhalation as you rotate. Very good. Same thing, opposite side. Right hand behind the head, elbow towards your left thigh. It's all right if it doesn't feel good to get it all the way down there. Just thinking about closing that part of the spine, tucking down, and then we're opening and rotate. Breathing in, sitting tall, and rotate. A couple more. And release. All right, normally I leave you here from a seated position. The very last thing I want to do, I want to give a little extra attention to the front side of the hips because we didn't really open those up at all this hour. So if you still have some energy, come on up to standing for one final stretch. All right, and I'll give you the option. I'm going to show the hip flexor opening. If anybody wants to just go straight into that quad stretch for the final one, you can do that. Otherwise, we're going to do our standing hip flexors. So right foot steps forward, left foot steps back, and you have your feet hip width apart here. Have both heels planted down, either overhead or I'm going to demo from the shoulders. Call them our I Dream a Genie arms. Cross the hands, lifting tall. You're going to keep your front heel planted as you sit that or kind of shift your hip forward, squeeze the glutes, and now rotate your body towards your left side. So kind of just feeling a little bit of movement here in the front part of the hip, back into the torso. I rock the hip back, sit tall, stand tall, and rotate. Losing my words. Rock it back, rock it forward, squeeze that glute on your left leg, and turn towards the right. Very good. Go ahead and release that down, shake it out. Same thing, opposite side. Cross the arms over, lifting up, shift the hips, squeeze the bum of that trail leg, and then just gently turn away. Back, rock it forward, and turning the torso. Good, 1 to 2 more. Back, forward, and rotate. Fantastic. All right, if anybody wants extra credit, you can add that single leg quad stretch in. Not that we literally give assignments here, but just an extra option for the end. All right, everyone. Otherwise, thanks so much for being here. Great job today. Stay hydrated. Drink your water. So just as a reminder, what's our goal for water? Really, you want to base your water intake on how much you weigh. So if you can imagine, if we weigh, we'll do simple math. If I weigh 200 pounds body weight, then you want to imagine not 200 ounces of water, but we're going to divide it in half. So if I weigh 200 pounds, I want to be drinking at least about 100 ounces of water per day. So if you weigh about 150 pounds, you want to drink about 75 ounces of water a day. If you weigh 120, about 60 ounces, and so on. All right. And you want to think about, water isn't coffee, water isn't tea, water is water. If you want to put some lemon in it, that's great. But make sure you're not drinking something that might be dehydrating your cells. We want to be giving our cells good hydration. All right. Lemon water is fantastic for helping with our cells to detox. Cucumber slices, so any kind of fruit or vegetable still works. We don't really put many vegetables in water, but basil leaves, things like that. Otherwise, enjoy.
Axio.
Well, we'll see you next time. There you go, some Axio.
Does that work?
Well, you don't want to, that still has some caffeine in it, right? So it's good for your brain. It's got a lot of good B vitamins, but you don't want to count that towards your water quota. You want to see that as like an additional drink, just like your teas and such would be. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and stop that recording.
Okay, goodbye.